I've been looking for something to lose. I've been looking for something to prove. Oh well, it's hard to find yourself.
We gather here to honor a man whose music was a bridge for many of us, spanning cultures, crossing boundaries and forging deep connections in the heart of a divided land. Johnny was more than a musician. He was a storyteller. He was a freedom fighter, a cultural alchemist who wove together the sounds of Africa and the pulse of a world into something uniquely his own, something unforgettable. Johnny was a man who understood heritage, who breathed life into rich traditions, particularly of this country, and who gave them a voice that resonated across generations and across races. That was particularly poignant, and something which I think the whole world recognized was that he brought us as South Africans together and reminded us of our shared values. He walked boldly in spaces where few dared to tread, breaking barriers not for the sake of rebellion, but for the sake of truth.
It's hard to find yourself.
And seeing him in a statue form with the other great giants of South Africa is just the most moving experience and just such a privilege. It's very beautiful.
Looking at the sky and I'm wondering how I got here. All I wanna do is tell you about my fear.
Where we choose to embrace Africanness and Ubuntu when it is good. Even in the dark days of apartheid, at its very apex, Johnny Clegg, being a white South African, chose the inconvenient truth to identify and embrace black Africanness through and through when it was not fashionable. To the white Zulu, the white Zulu truly fulfilled his deep conviction of transformation of the political and cultural landscape of South Africa, way before the popular notion of transformation was adopted by the government of national unity post-1994.
It's a really surreal moment. My dad has come back to life in a very tangible way for all of us as a family. And it's been quite an amazing journey just arriving here, doing all the motions with the artists to get the accuracy and to get his spirit. And so to finally be here and to see it is, yeah, we've been very emotional all day.
And that's who Johnny Clegg was, a properly decent human being. And that is the highest compliment we can pay to anybody.
My name is Kandim Pagama. I'm one of the sculptors who have a privilege of doing the sculpture. It's been such a wonderful and challenging journey, but at the end, it's truly wonderful to see how that hard work paid out.
We start by deciding on a pose, which is the best pose for that particular character, and for that we consulted with the family. And they sent us a couple of photographs, and we kind of left it the decision for them, and that they chose that pose, which I think was exactly the right decision. Then we make a small one, a maquette, sort of 40 centimeters high, and we submit that for approval. That went well, and that's when we start with the big one. Okay, that takes putting the big one together. I'm not going to go into the methods in this, but putting that together takes about a good 2.5 months. And then when we finally got to the ends, we got the family in again to come and have a look. They came to have a look. They they approved immediately. There was no problems, and that was great. You know, the first time they saw it, they said, that's fine. And that was great. After that, it's got to go into, they've got to make a mold, which is a whole, probably, the mold took, 2 weeks to make. The foundry sent a guy down to make it. And then it goes into foundry.
Now I'm searching for the spirit of the great heart to hold